Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to the Dugout Football Channel. And yes, you'll have noticed that I have been on a couple of Newcastle channels, but it is very, very good to be back on my own channel, previewing this fantastic encounter. Yes, whenever Newcastle Liverpool comes along, everyone remembers those 4-3s back in the day. But we shall see what happens, because this Newcastle side is much, much better and much, much tougher to beat as well. As you can see, been joined by a fabulous guest. We've got the lovely Kendall Rowan from the Overlap. How are you, Kendall?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. How are you? Thank you for having me again as well.
Oh, it's a pleasure. Yeah, I'm not bad. I'm not bad at all. Yeah, a little bit about the Overlap. You enjoying that?
Yeah, I do love it. It's you get some opinions on there, opinions. But yeah, it's nice to just have that kind of link the gap between like pundits and fans. It's really, really nice to do that, I think, and it's a fantastic concept. But yeah, I absolutely love it. It's brilliant.
Yeah, no, I'm really, really chuffed for you, because I know, obviously, content creator as well, but yeah, it's good to see you representing the tune as well. And we will talk about, well, I know a lot of people will probably be asking, obviously, the big news, Salah. We will get obviously onto Liverpool, but I do want to get onto Newcastle, because your transfer window, I've got to say, if I'm looking at that as a neutral, I would say 10 out of 10. Sandro Tonali, Harvey Barnes, Tino Livramento, and Lewis Hall. On paper, squad depth is absolutely key when it comes to Premier League and comes to Champions League. What do you make of your transfer window?
I think, yeah, I agree. It's 10 out of 10 for me. I would have liked a right-sided centre-back as well, like a young, quality right-sided centre-back as well, and then that would have been like ideal, but that's probably asking too much. I think we're done now. And we might just be kind of wait until January or next summer to do that. I know we have been linked to a few, but it doesn't look like any deals are getting done. But I'm happy with where we are at the moment, obviously, because now we've signed Lewis Hall, who is a left back. We can play Dan Burnett centre back if we need to. So yeah, there's players there that cover a few positions, players that are so young, like Tino Livramento and Lewis Hall are like 20 and 18 years old, so it's really, really young. Sandro Tonali is only, I think, 22, 23, so yeah, we're signing players for the future and the right now who are quality enough. And yeah, I think it's been a fantastic window for me personally. I couldn't really have, as I said, asked for much more, to be fair.
Especially with obviously St Maximin going out as well. You needed a left-sided player, and Harvey Barnes, I think, fantastic signing as well.
Yeah, he was brilliant at Leicester as well. Like, I think it's just signings that people aren't going to look at and be like wowed by, but it's just such shrewd business and clever business. Like, if you look at the market for centre midfielders, you'll know yourself, like with your club, with the whole centre midfield saga, like players gone for 150 million. We managed to get Sandro Tonali for like 55 reported. I don't think anyone actually knows the fee, but yeah, like for half the price. So I just think it's been really good business by us again, and I think it's a really, really good window.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll go into the chat, because I have seen a few. Geordie's in. Hello, mate. Yo, what's up? Really excited for the match. Yeah, we will get onto it. Hello, Wiggs. Hope you're well. Geordie says, love to have Kendall here. Yeah, absolutely. Hello, Nipun as well. How Newcastle got Tonali, great transfer video. Absolutely amazing how you got Tonali. Do you think there was a sort of a lot of people actually saying he sort of got pushed out at Milan? What do you think?
I'm not entirely sure. I think that was a lot of Milan-led media saying, and fans, because obviously they were gutted that they'd lost a childhood Milan fan. He plays for his club, and I don't think anyone expected it, because he wasn't the first person up for sale, like, from Milan. So I think that was a lot of the Italian-led media has been quite salty about it, which is fair enough. You know what I mean? That's football's tribal, and that's why. But I mean, and everyone was saying it was money as well, and not necessarily. We have upped his wages, don't get us wrong, but again, it's still very much within our lines of our wage structure, because our wage structure compared to a lot of teams that we're competing with now is significantly lower than a lot of teams. Like, we don't even have we don't have anyone touching even anywhere near 200,000 a week, like at all. So yeah, it's a lot lower than the rest. So I just think it was fantastic business, and luckily he's bought into it, and his girlfriend seems to be put like proper peddling the Newcastle propaganda, and she's loving it. So yeah, it's nice. So, and he had a fantastic debut, so not really much negative to say about that, to be fair.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Tonali's misses his Flames, bro. Yeah.
She's a model.
She is. Hello, Nipping Bigger, Douglas and Kendall. Ryan says we're completely finished with the club. Hello, Ryan. Hope you're well. The worst owners in the league, and that's a fact. Liz, hi, Kendall and Douglas Lionheart. Hello, Liz. Hope you're well. We'll sell Salah and then talk. Yeah, I'll get onto the Salah stuff in a wee bit as well. But your start of the season, I mean, you must have been going to that game against Aston Villa and thinking, right, the one thing we want to do, win our home games. Did you expect to be going away with a 5-1 victory? Probably not.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. The first 15 minutes, I was so nervous. I was excited for the game, and then I got there and I sat in my seat, and I was like, oh, nervous, can't deal with it. I'm like literally panicking so badly. But then obviously it was very, very even. The first half, like really well, not the first half, but the first 20 minutes, I think were very, very even. And then the rest of the game, we just literally didn't let them have a look in at all. I thought we played fantastically. I had zero negatives about that game. I thought across the board we were just brilliant. A lot of people kind of linked it to Unai Emery's high line, but the fact that they literally had to play like that, and we were just taking advantage of it every single second. So yeah, it was brilliant. And then obviously Man City, I'm not, as I said earlier, I'm not going to lie, 1-0 to Man City is not the worst result in the world. I'm going to be clear and honest about that. I know it's a loss, and obviously football is about points and getting those 3 points, and I know it's a loss, but for me to go to Etihad and only lose 1-0 is like an indictment of where we are as a club now. It's progression to me. So yeah, I'm happy with it, really.
Yeah, no, I've got to be honest. I watched the game against Villa. You were fantastic, and then I watched the game against City. And yes, you only lost 1-0, but the one thing I can say from that, you stopped Erling Haaland scoring, which I think was very, very impressive, and you defended very well. Some of those blocks from Scher, from Botman, was brilliant.
Agreed. Botman and Shaw were absolutely brilliant that day, like genuinely fantastic. I couldn't have said anything less about them, really. Nick Pope pulled off some really, really decent saves as well, and yeah, they were brilliant. But again, that it links back to last season, because defensively we were obviously one of the best teams in the league defensively last season. So I'm just hoping that continues this season, and we've added firepower to the attack. So hopefully it kind of balances out a little bit more. But yeah, as I say, it sounds like tin pot, because like no one wants to be happy when they lose, but I wasn't happy to lose. I was just happy that we didn't like capitulate or anything like that. I was slightly disappointed in the performance in the first half, especially. I'm not going to lie. I thought we showed them a lot of respect. I mean, look, they are the best team in the world, don't get me wrong, but we showed them a lot of respect. We sat back a little bit too much. Our passing wasn't great. We didn't have much of the ball, but we were definitely significantly better second half. But yeah, we move on. Look, it's 1-0 away at the Etihad. As I said, I'm not gonna cry too much over that, to be fair.
No, absolutely not. And I think as well, City are a side that just came back from a European Super Cup, and they were taking the penalties as well. So it was difficult to sort of gauge what the game would go like. But Alvarez, fantastic finish. It has to be said. So going obviously into the season, obviously the Champions League draw is next Thursday, which will be very, very exciting for every Newcastle supporter. What are your expectations for this season?
I expect us to. Well, I don't expect that. I'm not one of these fans who's like spoil or expects us to like immediately be good. Like I'm just not. I think we've had so much bad times, like very, very, very few fans will be like that. I want another cup run. I want another cup final. That is what I want, and obviously I want to win it this time. I'm not saying that we will, but I would like that. I want to get out of the group stages of the Champions League, because I know everybody's waiting for us to fail, and I know they are, and I really don't want to feed into that narrative at all. I want us to get out of the group stages. If we get Europa League but do the other two, I'm relatively happy. If we don't do the other two and we bomb out of the cups, we bomb out of the Champions League, then I am expecting to get Champions League again next year and get top 5. So it just, as I say, depends on. I know that's an annoying answer because I'm giving you like 2 scenarios, but that's where I'm at with that. But I do hope that we get Europe again next year in some capacity and go on a decent cup run. That's what I want.
Yeah, absolutely. Is there anyone you're fancying in the Champions League?
I don't care who we get. Honestly, I'm genuinely not because I think we'll beat them or anything. Because, well, to be honest, I think we could give most teams a good go, especially at St James's Park. Like, I'm not looking at any team, especially in the groups, because obviously we can't play Man City, we can't play Arsenal in the group. Yeah. So I'm not looking at anyone in the world and being like, oh no, please don't bring them at St James's Park. Like, I'm just not, because I never even thought we would get here. I genuinely never thought in my life again that I would see us in the Champions League again. So I'm just gonna enjoy it. I don't care really what happens. You can bring anyone. To be honest, bring the big boys. Real Madrid at St James's Park. I'll have it. I'm just gonna sit there and enjoy it. Obviously, I would. I'd love to see Diego Simeone at St James's Park. I'd love it. That would be like dreamland. But obviously, I'd rather not, because then I'll be so happy, because I've always said, everyone always used to ask me, is Newcastle and Atletico ever played it? Who would you support? I'm like, well, Newcastle, because Newcastle are my team. But I was like, well, it doesn't matter anyway, because that'll never happen. And then lo and behold, here we are. It could happen. So it'll be amazing to see Diego Simeone at St James's Park. But yeah, I'm happy with, honestly, anyone. I don't mind who comes, but I know some will be wanting the easier route, if you will. But I'm not forced. Just give me anyone.
Yeah, anyone at St James's Park on a Tuesday, Wednesday evening will be fantastic under the lights. We do have a few questions. Kendall, who is your favourite player, past and present? That's Liz.
Newcastle related or just anyone?
I would probably say Newcastle related, yeah.
Newcastle related. So present is probably the one that no one expects is Joe Willock. Present. That's my favourite current Newcastle player, and my favourite past Newcastle player. I know Alan Shearer is a very cliche answer, and everyone will give that answer. So obviously he is, but I'll say someone else. Obviously, because everyone's going to say Alan Shearer. It's Hatem Ben Arfa is my other one.
Hatem Ben Arfa. There you go. I like that. I do like that. Nippon says, take good care of Lewis Hall, Kendall. Eddie, who likes Joe Gomez? Eddie, do us a favour, please, brother.
He doesn't.
Surely someone saw the whole. Oh, I think I've read that one anyway. Turn fan base to here this year. Why else are you not saying Nunes is going to City now? Well, City have just got Doku? Yeah. Doku. Interesting signing, I've got to say. We're getting beat on Sunday, to be honest. Endo will get torn apart, to be honest, guys. And Bill, well, we'll get into the game.
Ryan's actually the most negative person that I know. So negative, man.
Sebastian says, I think Newcastle wins. I know it will happen. Interesting. Here's an interesting one. Question for you, both of you. How far do you see your respective teams going in European competitions? Right. Europa League, I'm going to say I expect Liverpool to get to the latter stages. So, Champions League, what about you, Kendall?
Yeah, as I said, just get out of the groups. I don't care. If we go any further than that, then that's absolute lovely. That's brilliant to me.
Absolutely. Bayern smoke any other English team outside City? Yeah, certainly. But big up Douglas. It's a Kendall again. Thank you very much, Mr. Beehive. Hot take, Newcastle will do what Villarreal did a few seasons ago. Ooh. Head to the semis. That would be very interesting. 3-2 LFC, Isaac Barnes or Almiron, Salah, Darwin, Diaz or Bosley. Des. Who's the bad boy in the Newcastle current team?
In terms of I don't think there's anyone with a bad boy attitude, but if you want hard man, it's Joe Linton all the way. Joe Linton, every single day of the week. He's literally one of the hardest players in Premier League. I would not ever even like to consider anyone going up against Joe Linton, because I think it would I think he would win 9 times out of 10. So yeah, probably if you want to go for the hard man, then it's Joe Linton. But in terms of if you one of the bad boy attitudes of the past, there really genuinely isn't anyone like that now, because we've very much phased that out and everyone's a team and is on board with each other. So yeah.
Yeah, very interesting. Right. I will get to obviously the elephant in the room. Mo Salah rumours, right? I know that Ryan has said if we sell Salah, then obviously everyone will probably be, FSG, etc. I'm going to be honest. When I first saw sort of the murmurings of like the rumours coming from like Saudi sort of sources or like papers, etc., I was like, all right, I'm going to just. I basically said it. As soon as we get like an Ornstein bomb or a Fabrizio Romano bomb, then I'm like, okay, be a little bit worried. Now that it's came out that obviously Ornstein's came out with it, I cannot foresee Mo Salah being sold this summer, and I'll tell you why. We have 8 days of the transfer window left, and the other thing as well, why would we sell our best player 8 days before the window closes? Because look at the players who have gone out this summer: Henderson, Milner, Firmino. Like, if you were to say you're going to lose Mo Salah, Roberto Firmino, Naby Keita, James Milner, Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain in the same window, I think people would probably say you're going absolutely bonkers. And yes, I know obviously money talks. What do you make of the Salah rumours, and do you think he will leave?
I don't think he will leave. Not this
No.
summer. I think there's a possibility that they say come us next summer, or there's like kind of a non-official pre-agreement there. I think maybe I cannot see him going now. Although the fact that David Ornstein said that there is concrete interest, that is a slight worry, because obviously you know that then Salah or Salah's representatives and Saudi representatives are in contact with each other. Obviously they're going to offer him a significantly lucrative pay package. We've seen the Saudi pay packages. They are ridiculous. Neymar has literally got a private jet and everything in his contract. Like, it's actually genuinely insanity. So my only issue is that we've seen a lot of Muslim players go to Saudi because of the culture and the traditions and obviously the religion and things in Saudi, which I quite like, because I see everyone going to like praying together and stuff, and it's fantastic. Yeah. Like, it's really, really brilliant for them to feel that, because obviously in this country we are very diverse, but it's not like that, like where everyone can enjoy it together and it's like a tradition. So obviously that would probably appeal to him as well. I know he has embraced like Western traditions as well, obviously like Christmas and stuff, which to everyone's controversy and things like that. But I think that might be a point for obviously Muslim players in the future. And yeah, but I agree. I cannot see him leaving this window, but I think he will leave next season if that's kind of like on the table. I think then probably we'll go there next season, to be fair.
Yeah, I agree. I think I can see sort of an argument for like next season, next summer. But yeah, I think I'm going to be honest. Let's just enjoy the rest the rest of Mo Salah's Liverpool career. Because I did see a stat. His stats are just phenomenal. I think it's like 267 goals in 323 appearances, which is just mind blowing for a winger. Let me just say that. But yeah, I think the thing is to say this. I think Salah will honour this year at Liverpool, and I think he would want to win the Europa League. I think he would want to win the Europa League, if I'm being honest. But yeah, I think Salah will. I think he'll stay. I think he will stay, and especially with like 8 days of the window left as well. There was actually a question. I think it was from Nippon, actually. Oh no, it was from Mr. B. Kendall, do you think Newcastle will sign anyone else before the window shuts?
No, I don't. I think that's us done. As I said, the only person I think that will possibly sign will be a loan for a right centre back this window, but I even doubt that's happening now. And I know you can't take everything that Eddie says like literally, because he has obviously lied in the past. Like, we were literally signing Harvey Barnes and he was at a press conference being like, who's that? So you can't like believe him every single time, but he did openly say that that's probably the window done now. So yeah, unless there's going to be a significant deal to be made, because we are very opportunistic in the window, then I can't see us signing anyone else.
Yeah, absolutely. Steve Ellis says my preview tomorrow. Jordy says Isaac Brayson coming. Ryan says I really rate the Livramento Jesus Christ, can't remember words. Tonali signings, even though I think Tonali is overrated. You're
See what I
doing
mean?
so.
He's so negative, man. Honestly, it drives me insane. I keep telling him, like, stop commenting on my stuff with negativity. You're actually doing my head in.
Liverpool score goals, but I can see a lot too, so I think there will be lots of goals. I'm going 3-2 Liverpool. Okay. Here we go. The fact that Simicast, Matip, Gomez, and Adrian are still here shows how bad the summer has been. We'll make no more signings. If we do, it'll be Gravenberch if we don't even need. One of these days, you'll be happy.
The only person I've ever seen him be positive about is John Shelby, so that is telling you everything, really, isn't it?
Yeah, Liz, you're absolutely right. The Saudi League window doesn't close until September the 21st. I did see that. So going on to Newcastle Liverpool, because Liverpool were the only team to do the double over Newcastle last season. Now, chat, I will ask a question. When was the last time Newcastle beat Liverpool in the Premier League?
I think it was 2015. It's the last one I can remember. 2014, 2015. I can't remember. It must have been 15 because Gini Wijnaldum scored.
Yes, you're absolutely correct. The 6th of December, 2015. Yeah. It was Klopp's first.
It's the last time I can remember it.
It was Klopp's first season in charge, and let's just say the coverage before that game was, "Oh, Liverpool are going to walk over Newcastle." If you remember, Newcastle were actually managed by Steve McLaren at that time.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And everyone was saying, "Oh, Liverpool are going to, walk over Newcastle. Liverpool are going to, basically a case of how many, but you managed to, beat us. But yeah, that was the last time you beat us. So, is there a feeling that you're coming up against Liverpool at the right time?"
I'll probably say so, just simply because of obviously respective seasons in the last season, respective transfer windows as well, because I do think, even though I actually rate Liverpool signings, I don't think you guys have strengthened to the point that you needed to. And as I say, we know there's 8 days of the window left, but like to the point of where, as I say, you needed to. And yeah, we looked really good against Aston Villa, and we looked relatively good against City. So I think, yeah, it probably is a feeling amongst us now that this is the best time to come up against you, because as well, you normally seem to string a bunch of wins together at the end of the season rather than at the beginning. So yeah, it's probably the best time to face is at home this season. But Liverpool are our bogey team. It's the way it is. It's the way it has been for years and years and years. So I'm not riding my hopes too much, but because they always come back to bite us in the backside, so I don't like to do that too much. But yeah, I think at the minute it is probably a good time to face you guys, I think.
Yeah, I've got to say I'm very, very worried about this game. Just through the way that we're obviously defending. But we do actually have goals in us as well, and we'll be boosted by the return of Alexis Mac Allister because his red card was rescinded. What did you make of that challenge?
It wasn't a red card. They had no reason not to rescind that. It was just pathetic, absolutely pathetic. But we'll be saying that every week because there's always some pathetic decision somewhere. So, yeah, it was. I knew he was going to be back for the game because it was never a red card, never ever.
No, absolutely not. But I've got to say, like, how they saw a red card to begin with was ridiculously bad. Yeah, I mean, it's almost a coming together. Almost the two players, like one gets the ball, one misses it, and yeah, how obviously Tierney and Hatzidakis saw that as a red card is beyond me. But is there a feeling now? I was actually asked this on another show. Is there a feeling that there is a little bit of bad blood between Newcastle and Liverpool?
Yeah, I think so. Like, I think there has been just the last few years. I'm not entirely sure why, but the last few years, like obviously last season and stuff, the last minute Fabio Carvalho winner, and that was chalked off, and just stuff like that. I think the last few fixtures that we've played, have been a little bit spicy, if you will.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think there is a little bit of odd. I don't know. Newcastle just like beefing like Merseyside clubs. I think we beefed Tranmere like last year. Everton, obviously, all of the time. Liverpool now. I think there's maybe I don't know. There's some weird feeling there because you would think those two like clubs would get along if there's any getting along in football. But yeah, I think it'll be definitely a spicy one on Sunday, 100%.
Yeah, just very, very quickly on Everton. Is this their time to go down, do you think? I know we're only 2 games of the season,
I'm
but
sick of them, right? They're literally stinking up the place. They've been stinking up the place for 3 years. I'm absolutely tired of them. They should have gone down last year. They really, really should have.
Yeah.
But they should have gone down the year before, and it was actually our fault. We kept them up, which I don't ever forget. Noise life out with that. Because they beat us like it was like the February or the March 1-0. Winds me up something rotten that, and then they ended up staying up because of that. So yeah, no offense to them, but like I've been there as a club, like we were stinking the place out for a few years until we eventually went down. So yeah, they're just hanging on by a thread at this stage. But I think honestly the thing that's helped them, there's been teams worse than them in the last few years.
Yes.
Like that percentage worse. And I think it'll be the same boat this year. There's like Wolves who don't look good. Obviously they're in capitulation at the club at the minute. Obviously Luton Town, Sheffield United, Nottingham Forest and things like that. Like there's probably clubs that might be worse than them. So they might just hang on based on that. But yeah, it's not looking ideal so far for them.
No, and the next 2 games you could kind of argue. I know we're all only early in the season already, but the next 2 games are Wolves at home and then Sheffield United away. You can kind of say they're 2 6-pointers.
They've got to win them games, yeah, 100%. They've got to, because as I've just said, they're probably some of the clubs they're going to be looking at this year and being like, yeah we need to beat them. The problem is with Dyche at the minute, he has been so lauded as a defensive manager. Like no matter what, it's not good football, but defensively it's good. And they've literally just leaked an absolute bunch of goals. So especially at the weekend. Yeah. So yeah, when the one thing that you're known for is going bad, it's like not looking great. But we'll see, because as we all know, anything can happen in this Premier League, really.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, last season, the 2-0 game, which is what I want to come to, because after we scored the 2 early goals, obviously, just everything that could go wrong went wrong. Nick Pope, red card. But then after that, is there a feeling you should have got something from that game?
The Nick Pope thing just knocked us off completely. Like I don't even think we were ever going to come back from that at that stage, just because of that. Because it was just such a. I agree with you. I think we played actually better. I think we played a lot better after that. But yeah, it was just completely ruined us. And then obviously the final, he was out for the final, and we all know my feelings on that. I think about that every single day. But yeah, it's just one of those fixtures. As I said, Liverpool are just our bogey team for some reason. So, but patterns are there to be broken, man. I'm ready to break the pattern this weekend. I'm ready for it.
No, I can definitely imagine, and obviously the game at Anfield as well with the they allotted time. Yeah, Fabio Carvalho is not even at Liverpool. He's on loan at RB Leipzig. But where can Newcastle get joy against Liverpool this week?
It's defensively for me, because I think Liverpool defensively have been some of the best teams, one of the best teams, in Europe, like the last few years. But last season, especially, it was after Van Dijk got that really serious injury. Like Liverpool just never looked as strong defensively since then, and then he's kind of fell off a little bit. He's not been at the top level as what everybody expected him to be, and so yeah, it would be defensively for me. If we can catch the likes of Trent out, who's obviously playing this kind of inverted, whatever it is, position it is at this point, inverted midfield. I don't even know what it is, because obviously he had another he had a stinker at the weekend. Not overall because obviously he's won, but for Bournemouth's goal, and yeah, so it'll probably be defensively. I feel like if we just attack very intensely, like we have done, like we did against Villa, and don't let you breathe, then I think we get more joy from that. I just don't want it to be a replay of Man City, because attacking wise, your attack is the depth, and your attack is the best in the league, even above Man City, because they've obviously only got like Haaland and Alvarez. I know they're getting better now with obviously Grealish, Doku's coming in and things like that, but obviously use a guy they've got Diaz, Gakpo, Nunes, Salah. You can't really complain. So obviously Szoboszlai now as well. So yeah, I just want us to take the game to use, because I think that is a lot of the time. We did that at Anfield last year, and obviously it could have been a draw. But a lot of the time we don't against Liverpool for whatever reason. So yeah, hopefully this year, this season we do, especially at home.
Yeah, I've got to say as well, the one player that really scares me the weekend is Isaac, because we saw last season Isaac's debut was at Anfield, and he tore us apart. I mean, scoring a goal into the roof of the net is not a bad way to mark your debut. And then obviously the offside goal, which, you know, a lot of people kind of said, yes, that was very, very narrow. And then obviously, you know, we went on to win that. But yeah, Isaac, for me, I remember his goal, not his goal, the Everton assist.
Yes.
The one where he picks it on the halfway line, goes past a lot of Everton players, takes it to the byline, basically cuts across for Jacob Murphy to score, which was amazing.
Like literally unreal. Like we had 2 unreal assists in like 2 weeks, because Joe Willock's like outside of the boot pass that like flung to Isak, and then Isak's assist against Everton. So we had some good, but again, Isak, he looks fresh again this season. I know he didn't get much joy against City, he was isolated, but that's not, the sample size is too small for that. But yeah, he looks great. I hope we can have him for the whole season, like touch wood, because obviously he missed quite a chunk of last season through injury. So if we get him for the whole season, I think he'll be class, because he should not move the way he does for a 6'3" like striker. He shouldn't be that agile, he shouldn't be that smooth like with the ball, but he's absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, no, he really is. And I remember him from his days at Real Sociedad, and I think a lot of people were kind of like, I think Arsenal were linked with him, and then I think there was even talk potentially in London as well. But I think Isaac, for me, he's already shown that he can definitely score goals, and last season, you know, proved it as well. And as well, you've got Isaac, you've got Callum Wilson. How do you think Eddie Howe's kept them happy?
I honestly think it's just acceptance on both parts that will probably play a part this season in some respect, because we do, as you said earlier, we need that depth now. We do need players fit, and to be fair, it actually works in their favour, because there is 2 good enough strikers to replace each other who both had injuries. So it actually does work massively in their favour that they're not running into the ground like consistently, like we've seen with players like Rashford in the past. They're not expected to play every single game of every single season. That you can rotate. If we are chasing the game, we can bring Callum Wilson on. If we need someone who is a bit more flary, who needs to break the lines a bit more, we can bring Isak on. So I think they're both just obviously really clued up that they are going to get game time this season, no matter what. So yeah, I think that's probably how it works, really. I know probably both of them want to play, and they want to play 90 minutes every game, but I know that they'll both know it's not viable, and it's not the way that it's going to go, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me just go back into the chat. If Everton don't get a striker, they are screwed, says Mr. B, 100%. Bob's in, hello mate. This game will be a scrap. I do see Salah with the "I'm not effing leaving." What's that? The Wolf of Wall Street. I remember that. I remember that film. If I'm not fucking leaving. Performance though with at least a couple. Glamacastle's red card rescinded. I reckon. Tell me, Aston. Yeah, the problem is with that, Mr. B, you can't rescind the second yellow card. Unfortunately, it's only for straight reds. But I do agree. I think the red card given to Tommy Asu the other night was ridiculous. Literally a tap on the side, wasn't it? It was ridiculous. Ryan says, hopefully this is the season that Everton go down. Andrew Quinlan, hello mate. I feel a lot better now. Haven't been well today. Sorry to hear that. I'm looking forward to seeing Endomic Shobo on Sunday. Also, I've got a mate from Newcastle. I'd like to visit there one day. Evening Bob as well. Fine. I'm rapidly losing patience with Klopp as well. He's a huge reason for this window why we're so unprepared. Hello, Elevator. Hope you're well. If Salah leaves, which I doubt, then this football club will be truly unprepared. Yeah, absolutely. Mr. B, yeah, Liverpool's defence is shite now. They should have brought some new defenders. Yeah, BBD has been outstanding in the first 2 games of the season. Hopefully, continue this. Yeah, I think he has. He has been good. We brought in somebody like Inacio who could be sorted in defence, but these owners are a disgrace. Klopp happy with Endo starting DM. That's on him. Oh, good question. What does Kendall make of Anthony Gordon starting to show how good he is?
Yeah, I think he's the player that I'm most excited for this season. I think he had a fantastic summer, obviously pre-season with winning the player of the tournament at the Euros, under 21 Euros. And he looked fantastic there as well, in a little bit more of a central role. Sometimes even almost playing number 9 at times. But he's just looked so fresh again. He just needs... Not even really like it. Just his decision making. I don't think his decision making is quite good. He just needs that assist or a goal coming, and I think he'll be fine. It's just that you'll have seen it yourself with people like Nunes, for example. They need that goal just to settle down because it's weighing on them all the time that they need to provide or they need to score a goal or they need to do that and. That's all we need from Anthony Gordon now. We just need a little bit more consistency with like assists and things like that, or a goal just to settle him down. And then I think we'll be laughing, and 45 million will look like a good deal really in the end because I think he's fantastic. And to be fair, I was nasty about him, to be honest. I was really nasty when we signed him. I couldn't stand the kid. I was like, he's a horrible. Like, I just hated him because he was like a proper rat every time like he came to St James Park. It was awful. But honestly, he's proved us all wrong. And he said he was just in the wrong environment. He wasn't fit enough last season to play like our style of football. But the pre-season's done him absolutely fantastically, and his attitude and everything's calmed down completely. So yeah, I'm really, really excited to see him this season. Really excited.
Yeah, definitely. As well, if it doesn't obviously work out, Harvey Barnes to come in as well. This is an interesting question from Elevator. Which Big Six team will finish lowest? Now, I've got to be honest, from watching everyone this week, Man United look a really... They were rubbish against Wolves. Wolves should have beaten them by a long way. And then against Tottenham, and I know Mason Mount's obviously injured as well, but that midfield is so easy to get by.
Yeah, 100%. They look poor pre-season as well, though. Even last season, they didn't play nice football. They didn't play a football that you wanted to watch. They just got the results, and it saw them over the line in the end. And obviously, I always call Man United the jammiest team that I know. They always get results even when they shouldn't. Whereas this time, it's look like they can't even do that. I know it's only 2 games in. We're really early. They might string a bunch of wins together. We don't know, but they can't even do that at the minute. So yeah, it's like it's a bit worrying. They haven't looked good, but because it's them and because they get a lot of refereeing decisions that go their way, because they're just typical jammy bookers. They always just manage to pull a win out somewhere when they don't need it, like against Wolves. I think they'll be okay, but it's Chelsea for me. I know that they've got Pochettino, who I rate. I know that they've spent literally £1 billion on players, but we've seen it with them last season, to get all those players to gel in that short space of time, especially young players who need that coaching and need that advice. I mean, no one better than Pochettino with young players, but they need that help. And unfortunately, the Premier League, you don't get luxury of time in the Premier League. You just don't. So it's consistent, it's intense. The only thing that might see them this season is the fact that they've got no Europe. I think it'll help them and Tottenham this season. But yeah, just because Man United looked the worst in terms of as a team, but because they're Man United and because they're usually quite lucky, I think I'll go Chelsea. But yeah, I do agree. I think Man United they don't look as strong as they've obviously have in the past.
No. Do you think it'll be between City and Arsenal again?
Yeah, I think so. There's no one for me in terms of anyone, because I know people start put us in the conversation. I'm not entirely sure why. Maybe the Villa game's just blinded everyone a little bit, but we're not title challengers yet. But yeah, there's no team look like close to them two at the moment. So, and I even think Arsenal are still even a little step behind City. So yeah, I can't see anyone else really challenging for the title. I think it'll be them two again this season.
Yeah, absolutely. Elevator says United in pre-season were poor as well, losing 3-1 to Wrexham. Well, it was their second string. Actually, if you say that, they did lose 3-0 to Burnley behind closed doors. Which is still pretty funny to say the very, very least. But yeah, I've got to agree. I think Chelsea are a bit unbalanced. I think.
They don't know the best 11 either at the minute. Still, it's like
people are actually saying they've had the best window. I suppose in terms of sort of outgoings for the money that they brought in, but for the incomings, I mean, Jackson's a good player. Yeah. And Nkunku is really, really unlucky. I think he was one of the first ACLs, I think, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Caicedo will come good, although I have to admit I did actually laugh when he came on and conceded a penalty.
Even last season though, when he came to St James's Park, he got rinsed. He got absolutely rinsed, and I was like, I just do not see what everyone's seeing for 150 million. I've literally seen him with my own eyes. But yeah, it's not his fault. He's that price tag, I suppose. It's whatever Chelsea are willing to pay for him. So. Yeah, he'll as you say, he'll come good, but it's still funny that he just had a really crap debut. That was hilarious.
Yeah, and the other thing as well, Reece James, I am very worried for him because he seems to be getting consistent ankle injuries as well. And actually, Brian Morrissey's just said it there, Mudryk is now injured as well.
Yeah,
when it rains, it pours. Rains, it pours for Chelsea.
Yeah, it's looking peak. They need that attacking power, and they've lost him. They've lost Nkunku, and they've lost Mudryk now. So, Chukwuemeka as well. He got injured at the weekend.
He's out.
He's now out.
Yeah. I think. I mean, they have had a good window in sort of terms of outgoings. Although one person who I didn't think would leave, Kepa. I was very, very surprised that he left. And Bob's actually said Robert Sanchez will do well. I have to be honest, with the first two games, I know it's only the first two games into the season. We'll see more of Chelsea tomorrow when they play Luton Town. Robert Sanchez does not convince me as a number one.
I honestly don't think they expected Kepa to leave. I think they just brought Robert Sanchez in as like a backup. So obviously they had like Mendy and Kepa before. Obviously Mendy's gone to Saudi. And I think they brought Sanchez in as a backup, saw an opportunity signing there. And then Kepa's gone, well, see ya. I'm going now to Real Madrid. So I honestly don't think they foresaw that at all, because Sanchez didn't strike me as coming in as a number one. So I just think, that's a bit mad from them, really, because I don't think they expected it. But he's a keeper. I think he's been all right, but he's so prone to a clanger. I mean, like a Dubravka-esque clanger. So it's just like that. But as you say, he should be okay. But Chelsea's defence are looking like Colwill, who I rated exceptionally highly, I think, last season, and at the Euros, he is looking spooky at the minute. I don't know what is going on there.
The Zazie as well. I'm not a big fan of him.
No, I don't know what is going on, but it's going to take them some time. And as I said, unfortunately, you don't get much time in this Premier League. So hopefully Pochettino's not expected to do anything this season, but because of the money they spent, I think there will be that narrative. You've spent £1 billion. Why you're not competing for a trophy? Why you're not getting Champions League? I think there is going to be that sort of conversation that goes on. But it remains to be seen what they do this season, to be fair.
Yeah, definitely. James even said himself before the season that he's going to have to play more conservatively because his body can't handle it. Alarm bells.
He's going to end up like a Wilshere, like an early retiree, because his body just cannot. He's gone through so much as a player. in terms of injuries and physical for issues that he just, his body can't cope. He's constantly getting an injury, and it's not like a where he's out for a week, or it's like month-long injuries, weeks long, where he's missing several games. And as a player, I think he's only young still, isn't he? Like
23, I think.
Yeah. So for him to be getting this, but like much injured all of the time, it is a big worry. I hope he can overcome it in some way. But like Callum Wilson, he's another one. Like, I thought he would probably end up retiring early because he did both his ACLs one season after the other. He's had like really severe injuries as well, but he seems to be all right. So if Chelsea can get some decent medical staff in, and the problem is they've made James captain, so he's going to be expected to play a lot. I think that's a mistake. They need to be signing another right back to offset his inconsistency and his injury. They need to be signing another one who can come in and just play easily. So I think they're probably going to have to end up doing that in the long run.
Because they used to have, it was Conte was captain. I'm amazed they never give it to Thiago Silva. Because for me, Thiago Silva for me is the only leader in that Chelsea side.
Yeah, that's why I thought we'd get it as well. And now like right backs, who's even like Aspilicueta, he's left now, so they don't have him to play there.
Koulibaly, who was an absolute disaster.
Yeah, that was disastrous. Obviously Tino Livramento, I know he's at Southampton, but we've got him now. I can't even think who plays there for them. Is that Malo Gusto? Is he a right back?
Gusto. Gusto.
I don't know what they're going to do.
Yeah, and as Liz says, not everyone can be like James freaking Milner. Absolutely. Indeed. So, how do you think you will line up on Sunday? I keep saying Saturday, but it's definitely Sunday.
I know. I think it'll be relatively unchanged. The last two games has been the same, and Eddie Howe's very much he loves the starting 11 that he can rely on. So yeah, unless we've got any fresh injuries, which I don't believe we have, unless Joe Linton's injured, because obviously he came off injured against Man City. He is probably the only one that I'm a bit in between of, because it hasn't been said that he's injured or anything, and obviously there hasn't been a press conference yet. But if he's out, I think just Longstaff will just come in and replace him. As much as I want Anderson to come in and replace him, I think it'll be Longstaff, because Willock, again, he's still not fit enough to come in there. So I think it'll just be Pope, Trippier, Schär, Botman. I think it'll be Dan Burn. I cannot see them playing Lewis Hall straight away. Eddie Howe doesn't usually do that. Tonali's an exception, because he did play Tonali straight away. But the rest, he doesn't normally do that. He beds everyone in. He even bedded Bruno in at the beginning. So, I think we Dan Burn, and then it'll be Tonali, Bruno, and probably Longstaff if Joe Linton's injured. If not, it'll be Joe Linton, and then it'll be Gordon, Almiron, and Isak, I think.
I do have to ask, because I do know that there has been a bit of rumblings on social media. What's going on with Bruno Guimaraes?
Do you know what? I don't even know, because it was a completely stupid situation that was blown out of proportion. Like, so for anyone that doesn't know, a big like NUFC news account. I know you guys have like the Anfield Wrap and like Anfield Agenda and things like that. Or there's the COP one or whatever it is called. But like, so there's one called NUFC 360, and that's relatively along the same lines. And they had put a tweet out after the Man City game saying, it wasn't even overly critical. It was just like, is it too early to start to put the blame on individual players? Or do you think that we should be more accepting and just back the team? That was the question. And then there was a little graphic underneath with a picture of Bruno, a picture of Almiron, a picture of Dan Burn, or whoever. There was like 4 players on there. And he has then seen that tweet, because for whatever reason he followed this page. He's seen that tweet, or somebody on his team has, and has then gone absolutely mad, being like, oh, you all have short, stupid memories and like a vomit face. Just think of what we've done for this team in a year. We got into Champions League. You're so like basically calling them ungrateful and stuff. It was such an overreaction for like a not that critical tweet. And I was like, I don't know what's going on there because he's not like that. He's a very emotional person, don't get us wrong. He's extremely sentimental. He is, and I don't even think that's a bad thing. I think it's really good when someone can show their emotions, and we've seen it in how he is with the team. Like, he's just very emotionally led. Like, that is how he plays football. But for someone, it was either him or it was maybe his manager or his wife or whoever it was. We don't know who it was on his account. It was just such an overreaction and just so...
Yeah.
Like, I don't know whether that's just been the final straw, and he's seen a lot of tweets after Man City game because he wasn't that good. I'm not going to lie. I don't think really he's been that good since maybe it's April. But the problem is with Bruno, him being not that good is still an extremely high level because he is such a good footballer. And I think maybe he's just seen a lot of tweets or a lot of things on social media aimed at him, and I think he's just maybe just switched, and that's been like the final straw. But yeah, then he started unfollowing all of the Newcastle people that he followed, and it was all a bit weird. But I don't know whether he's actually been advised to do that so that doesn't happen again. So yeah, it was all just very strange. I don't know what was going on there, but it's really not a good time to be doing things like that, especially in the midst of contract talks, new contract that he wants. When we played a game against Liverpool, who we don't normally beat. So yeah, it wasn't a good look. But I think it was blown out of proportion, like everything else usually is on social media, really.
Yeah, absolutely. As Liz says, players should never comment on fan channels. I agree. I absolutely agree with that. It does seem like it's it seems like it's a thing that has definitely been blown out of absolute proportion, as well. Guys, get your Liverpool 11s in the chat. I'll go. I think it'll be the same back five. So Alexander-Arnold, Konate, Van Dijk, Robertson. I think Endo will come in. I think Endo will come in and make his competitive debut. And then it's going to be Mac Allister and Szoboszlai. Then I think it'll be Diaz. Salah, obviously, on the right. Who's coming in? Ugh. See, now I've got an option of Jota, Gakpo, or Nunes. I'm going to go Gakpo. Yeah, because I think he's wasted as a midfielder. And the one thing as well, I don't know if you noticed this against Chelsea when we played Chelsea. Andy Robertson was very, very exposed. He had a 2-on-1. Sterling and James completely rinsed him because Gakpo and Diaz weren't tracking back at all. Do you think that there could be a potential thing there that Eddie Howe has potentially seen and double up on Andy Robertson?
Yeah, it could be, because Eddie Howe literally is so meticulous and he'll notice things like that. Like Man City, we isolated Haaland straight away. That was the game plan. Sean Botman just isolated him and he just couldn't do anything. He had chances, but he just wasn't getting them off the way he normally would. So we saw that straight away. We just unfortunately didn't expect Phil Foden to be the magician that he was on that day. So yeah, I think Eddie Howe will have noticed that. And the only thing that worries me a bit about that is that it'll be Almiron on his side. Although Trippier and Almiron have a really, really good partnership, and we've seen it last season. Almiron had his best goal scoring season. But if it was someone a little bit more prolific on that right hand side, then I'll be a bit more confident. But Almiron's not as prolific every single season as we saw it last season. So, I mean, it remains to be seen what he does, because he has scored. So, yeah, but I think Eddie Howe will have noticed that as well.
Yeah. I think it could be a potential ploy as well. And obviously, Anthony Gordon against Trent Alexander-Arnold could be very, very interesting, to say the very, very least. Right, there are a few of you getting in your teams. Brian, looks like you've got the same as me. Ali, Trent, VVD, Konate, Robo, Mac, Szoboszlai, Endo, Salah, Gakpo, Diaz. Yeah, that is exactly the same as me. Oliver's gone, in my opinion, the same against Bournemouth, except I think Endo is a CDM, Mac Allister on the left side of the midfield, and front three of Diaz, Darwin, and Salah. I think you missed Szoboszlai there. Steve says Darwin, please. Mr. B, yes, Endo will definitely get a game, no doubt about that. Gary's gone Ali, Trent, Konate, Van Dijk, Robertson, Alexis Mac Allister, Endo, Dom, Diaz, Nunes, Salah. Could potentially see that. Gakpo, Jota, and Doak plus Coat off bench. If Nunes can't get a start at home to Bournemouth, he ain't starting away at Newcastle, says Brian. Philip Bidwell, hello mate, hope you're well. 2-2, and in my opinion, the front three should be from Diaz, Gakpo, and Salah. Don't use Trent as inverted role and Robbo LCB, please. And yeah, Shobo on the right of the midfield. So, all that left for us to do is score predictions. What are you going to go for?
I hate this fight because every time I predict a win, we lose. No, it's not really, but every time I predict a win, I've got it in my head that I'm like the problem. Like if I predict us to win, we'll lose. I always do stuff like that, like so superstitious. But no, I think, as I've said before, I think this is the time to play Liverpool. We're at home. We're on decent form. We look strong. 2-1 Newcastle is my prediction. Whether I believe that is going to happen or not is a different story. But I think it could happen. So yeah, 2-1 Newcastle.
2-1 Newcastle.
If that's the result, I'll not be here for the rest of the week. I'll be out drinking. See you later.
Yeah, I can understand, because if you have joined late, people, I did actually ask a question earlier in the stream. When was the last time Newcastle beat Liverpool? And the answer is the 6th of December 2015. It was a double from Gini Wijnaldum when Klopp was manager of, obviously Klopp was manager of us, but it was Steve McLaren as Newcastle manager. Yes, I know. I should be going back to those days because I don't want to. Yeah, I don't want to upset you because you are much happier as well. I've got to be honest. I think it's going to be a bit similar to the 2018-2019 game where literally you score, we score, you score, we score, and then we get a late winner. I'm going 3-2 Liverpool. I think it's going to be some kind of game where it's just going to be end to end, and I don't think we're good enough to keep you out, and I don't think you're good enough to keep us out. So I think there will be goals in this game. I'm going for a 5-goal thriller. I'm going 3-2. So
I'm not going to handle it. I'm so nervous. I'm so nervous. Like, honestly, I'm nervous against everyone. Like, I'll go to a game and I'm thinking, like, I'm so excited for this game, and I literally sit in my seat and I'm like, I actually feel sick with nerves. I'm like, I can't do this. Like, my heart is just not going to take this game on Sunday. I'm going to have to. It's bank holiday weekend in the UK, so I don't know if it's the UK or it's England. Is it the same in Scotland? Is it bank holiday weekend this?
Yeah, I actually work in Lloyd's banking group, so I will be getting the bank holiday as well.
Yeah,
so,
lovely, absolutely fantastic. I don't know. Obviously, public holidays and stuff's different. Scotland have a little bit extra ones than us. We have extra ones in Scotland. Right. So I always forget which is the same. So yeah, it's bank holiday weekend in England this weekend. So yeah, I'm gonna have to probably, no matter how the result goes, I'm gonna need like copious amounts of alcohol on Sunday. Sunday night. So luckily Monday will be a write-off, so we'll be all right.
yes, absolutely. You guys begin your predictions, and Brian's gone 2-1. 2-1 the pool, says Bob. 4-2-3-1 with 2 CDMs and Sabosly. I'm worried for this game. I really am. This has gone 3-0 Newcastle. Wow.
Can you imagine? God.
Gary. 4-3.
I think be caught with that. And I
think the thing is, oops, there's it. I think the thing is, when we learn from 95, 96, and then obviously 96, 97, 4-3, both ended up to Liverpool. I think a lot of Newcastle fans would probably feel like they're due a 4-3 against Liverpool. So yeah, maybe. Liz says, 3-1 Liverpool. Sorry, Kendall, we need a win. Elevator's gone 3-0 Newcastle as well. Wow. Mr. B's gone 3-2. I honestly think we're going to get battered, and sooner or later we're going to start a poor run of form, and this is the beginning of it. I really hope not. Ryan's gone 3-1 Newcastle. Totally forgot McLaren managed Newcastle. I think everyone does. I purposely forgot about it. Push it in the back of my memory, let me be honest. To be honest, I think everyone does, because obviously you see him with obviously Erik ten Hag as well. Yeah, it's mad he's actually back on the Manchester United bench. I can't believe it as well. Mick is in. Hello, Mick. Hope you're well. Hey, both. Hopefully 3-1 the Reds. Yeah, we have a bit of a running joke in the Copite podcast WhatsApp group because, believe it or not, I've managed to get the last two Liverpool predictions right. How? I don't know. But I predicted 1-1 against Chelsea, and I also predicted 3-1 against Bournemouth. So Mick's called me a lucky bastard. Which is very, very funny to say the very least. But yeah, 3-2. I'm not hoping
Hopefully
out for.
You're wrong, Doug. I'm not gonna lie. Hopefully you're wrong this time.
Mick, yeah, keep forgetting Brian and Mick saying hey to Liz, but yeah. Mick, I think you'll be pretty safe, to be honest. I can't see myself getting three. If I get three predictions right, then probably people will probably start asking me for like the lottery or something like that. I'm only joking, of course, as well. But Kendall, thank you very much for coming on this evening. I really, really do appreciate. I do know you have a channel. That your channel is in the description box down below. I know you don't do much YouTube now, do you?
No, I don't. It's literally my own issue. Like just motivation and procrastination. But I have said this season will be the season because I think there's so much to report on, especially from a Newcastle point of view this season. So yeah, hopefully I'll get that back up and running very soon.
Absolutely, and yeah, please go check out the latest of the overlap, because Kendall's on there. Kendall's on there. Nick from the Sheffield United Way, he's also there. Obviously, Paul Machin as well. There's loads of people. Even what's his name? The Apprentice star, Thomas Skinner.
Oh yeah, Thomas Skinner's on there this time. Yeah, he was.
Did you get a chat to him at all?
Yeah, he was sound. He was the life of the party, larger than life when he came in, as you expect. So, yeah, he likes to be.
I love when he says "Bosh." Bosh. Bosh. If you get every prediction right, Douglas, then it's safe to say you really are a lucky bastard. Thank you very much. That ain't happening. I can tell you that for a fact. Come on, you Reds, you'll never walk alone. Mr. B says, Kendall, who did you play the best football under, Hula or Keegan?
So sadly, I was not alive. Well, I was alive. I was born 1995, but I don't remember the Keegan era at all as a watcher. Like in real time, I've only ever seen like videos and stuff in the later years. But I know because everyone speaks about it so like sentimentally with absolute love, it'll probably will have been Keegan. And Hullett did random things like dropped Shearer for the derby and stuff like that, which was just bizarre. So yeah, I think probably Keegan. And then probably second best would be I can't remember the football under Bobby Robson. I used to go to the games, but I can't remember the football. So probably Eddie Howe might even be second now, because we really have not played that nice football for about 15 years. So
yeah. No, absolutely not. If you get 3 in a row, I seriously want the Euro Millions numbers, lad. As I said, we'll wait and see what happens on Sunday, don't we, Mick? We'll wait and see what happens. Imagine if he gets 38 in a row. 30 in a row is just nigh on impossible.
You need to join that. You need to join that Super Six that Sky Sports do. Is it Sky Sports?
Yeah. No, I do Super Six actually. I think I got 13 points last week, which is not bad at all. I hope we don't get to query that guy's average. I still refuse to end my dream of Tushimeni. Steve says Amrabat over Doucouré. Amrabat looks like he's signing for United. Doesn't surprise me. He's Manchester United type player. Anyway, and Ryan says Amrabat is overrated as well. Amrabat is bargain after Fiorentina decreased the asking price. Well, we'll wait and see. But guys, thank you very much for watching. Really do appreciate everyone who's tuned in this evening, and we will see what will happen. And very, very last comment, 1892 Reds TV. Hello, hope you are well. I'm going to guess it's Luke, because I know you're back from Greece, but I hope you are well anyway. Luke or Ricky, or Ben as well. But yes, we will see what happens on Sunday. Yeah, 6th of December 2015 was the last time Newcastle beat Liverpool. Could we see a bit of a change on Sunday? We shall wait and see. But guys, please leave a like as you leave the video. I do appreciate everyone who's tuned in this evening. And yeah, we'll see what happens on Sunday. Will it be a Geordies win, or will Liverpool continue their unbeaten record against Newcastle? Good night.